Tomorrow is a very, very big deal for Benghazi. Benghazi is a story that we have been watching for a while, and the whistleblowers now are scheduled to appear before Congress tomorrow for their testimony. TheBlaze is going to carry all of that testimony live. In Washington, they don't seem to be too bothered by this. This photo was taken yesterday. Do we have it? They're still denying any wrongdoing, and at the same time, he's got to take some more golf. At the same time, more and more evidence is pointing to contradict the facts that TheBlaze has been on and been right on with this story from the very beginning. Today, our investigative Blaze team has learned of new inaccuracies in the government's original account of the Benghazi attack. Do you remember when it first happened and they told us that 3 private contractors who were killed along with Ambassador Stevens, that they were just down the road from the compound in the annex, and they told us these guys heard shots and explosions and they ran to help the ambassador and the staff, and the men were killed in the firefight. This is really important because remember, this is the dad, one of the dads in Hawaii that was there that we had on this program. There's a change to the story because now we're hearing from sources that 2 of the 3 contractors actually had commandeered a plane in Tripoli when they heard about the attack and then flew that plane to Benghazi. We're also hearing that there was a security detail of approximately 15 men inside the compound at the time of the attack, and they were ordered to stand down and evacuate. This group had to fight their way out of the compound and make their way to the CIA annex down the road, where they waited for more than 20 hours to be transported out of the area. Is this a conspiracy, media? Many injured. They were taken directly to Walter Reed Hospital back home. But this is where it gets very interesting. They were then ordered not to speak publicly about any of this. Tomorrow at the hearing, hopefully, we will learn finally who ordered our Department of Defense to stand down. We can't forget about these things. We know that a Special Forces team was an hour away when the attack occurred. We know this. TheBlaze reported it. We have this as an exclusive story, at least it was exclusive this morning when I came on the radio to explain it. They had been on the scene before the second attack on the compound if they would have been allowed to go. This is all going to surface during the hearing, we hope. We hope. What I can tell you right now is we have sources confirming that there was a stand-down order given to the Special Forces team. This will confirm that our government has been lying the entire time. Doesn't that vindicate what TheBlaze has been saying since September? Doesn't that vindicate you? Or will the media and Washington and everyone else just cover up? Here's some more evidence. According to a new article in the Weekly Standard, a 35-year-old kid named Ben Rhodes is largely responsible for diverting the blame away from the Islamic terrorist after the attacks on the Benghazi consulate. The Standard writes, quote, Ben Rhodes, a top advisor to the President Obama on national security and foreign policy, further advised that the group issues would be resolved in a meeting of top administration officials the following morning at the White House. Sure, resolved. Let me tell you what resolved means. This guy, Ben Rhodes, met with a deputy CIA director, Michael Morrell. Then after the meeting, all mentions of Al-Qaeda and Sharia had suddenly disappeared from all of the talking points. The White House is insisting the only change they made to the talking points was to change the word consulate to the word diplomatic facility. But on September 14th at 11:15 a.m., here's what the talking points look like. Here it is. Oh, golly, there's a lot in here. It says Islamic extremists with ties to Al-Qaeda participated in the attack. It mentions the militant group Ansar al-Sharia. Then, one day later, Mr. Rhodes has his meeting with the deputy director of the CIA, and all of a sudden the talking points change to this. All of that has been redacted. I don't know if you can see, but all of that stuff has been lined out. This entire bottom part, the part about jihadists, Al-Qaeda, Ansar al-Sharia, all been cut out. Then a few hours later, the CIA releases their final version, again, with no mention of Al-Qaeda, Sharia, and the attacks are now being called demonstrations. According to our sources, the State Department spokesperson, Victoria Nuland, wasn't too fond of the original draft because there is no Al-Qaeda problem. So the State Department demanded that it be changed. The CIA made some changes, but they weren't good enough. Ms. Newland and the State Department said change it some more. That's when Ben Rhodes and his meeting with the deputy CIA director happened. It all seems very interesting when you consider the fact that at 35 years old, Mr. Rhodes is not only Obama's deputy national security advisor, but he is also Obama's personal speechwriter. In fact, he wrote the speech Obama gave in front of the Muslim Brotherhood in Cairo, praising Islam. But more interesting is the fact that just a few years ago, he got his master's degree in fiction writing from NYU. He's never studied government. He never studied diplomacy, national security intelligence, or anything relevant for that matter. Instead, he has his degree in fiction, which is exactly what this administration and an administration's revisionist narrative of the attacks are, fiction. Oh, by the way, he also has a troubling relationship. I think it's his brother that's the head of CBS News. There's a lot to report beginning tomorrow on The Blaze.